Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Biashara Diaries, proudly sponsored by Lukenya Getaway. Today, we are joined by Madam Juliet Gikonyo. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, and we want to know a bit about you. Who is Juliet Gikonyo?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's always hard to kind of think about how do you sum up yourself in a should I say one paragraph. But my name is Juliet Gikonyo. I'm the second born in my family, the only girl
Wow.
to two wonderful parents, Dr. Betty and Dan Gikonyo. I have an older brother, Dr. Anthony Gikonyo, and a younger brother, Eric Wongi. I am a mother of two wonderful boys. I have an eldest son who is Karemi, who is 27 years old,
Yes.
and a younger son, Francis, who is 10 years old. But I think that's the one who's going to keep me young forever because the amount of energy is fantastic. So that's me. I'm also a graduate. I did a bachelor's in biology and psychology as my undergrad and a master's in public health.
Yes.
And it's important to say that because I do put a lot of value in academics.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's the only way, but I think it's important that it's part and parcel of one's journey.
Yeah.
And I foster that. That's a very important value for my kids.
Yeah.
I love traveling. If I can get to Naivasha, Mombasa, if I could be in Kampala or London, I love traveling. I love going to places that have history. So if you ever take me to a town or a city, I always want to ask the local person, tell me more about this place. Tell me where 50 years ago, how did this place look like? So history is something that I love, learning about cultures and things like that. I I like to paint. I do not call myself an artist. I like to paint. It is something.
Pastime.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Because when you tell people I'm an artist, they
Where's
think
your piece?
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I do it because it's something I enjoy.
Mm.
It's something that gives me some peace and calmness. So I those are the kind of things I look for in my free time.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like, outdoor activities and stuff like that, I am one of those people who tries to get 10,000 steps a day. In a hospital, it's very easy to do
Yes,
that.
yes.
By the time I've come up
The
the
stair.
floor, two, 3 or 4 times, or walked to one of the adjacent buildings, and get the 10,000
Yeah,
steps.
yeah.
I am a Christian. I was brought up in a Christian home, and I'm trying the best to bring up my children in a Christian home. And that's me, I think, in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And actually, we want to know a bit about where you work. You are CEO of a hospital, one of the largest hospitals in Kenya. Can you tell us a bit about where you were?
Well, okay. Well, Karen Hospital is a private hospital. It's located in Nairobi, Kenya. And we've been in existence for almost 20 years. Why do I say that? It's because we will be celebrating our 20th anniversary in 2026. We actually opened our doors in 2006.
Yes.
It's a private limited liability hospital, which means that it's basically a corporate structure. We have shareholders, we have a board of directors, then we have management, who is led by myself, the CEO. We have the main hospital here in Nairobi, and then we have 8 branches, which are located in various parts of Kenya.
Wow.
And if you don't mind me mentioning that, because sometimes people actually don't know that we have satellite branches. So we have in Meru, in Nyeri, Karatina, and Thika. Then we have Naivasha and Nakuru, and then we have CBD and Rongai.
Wow.
So those are outpatient centers that are, should I say, fully fledged, which will have a pharmacy, a lab, a doctor's consultation. Some of them do have imaging and physiotherapy services. But our newest one, which I have not mentioned, is one that is located in Nyeri at the moment, which is specifically for occupational physiotherapy.
Okay.
They do other services alongside needs for physiotherapy, but the occupational physiotherapy that targets children and adults, which is quite important, because if you try and find occupational therapy or even speech therapy outside of
very difficult.
Nairobi, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's been very hard for mothers or fathers, parents who are trying to raise children outside of Nairobi who need speech therapy, who need some occupational therapy due to some challenges, physical challenges that children might have. So I only want to speak about that so that people in that area know You don't have to travel all the way to Nairobi. You can
It's
actually
possible out there.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
exactly.
How are you running a hospital and you're not a doctor?
The $1 million question,
Yes.
million shilling question.
Yes.
Yes, I think it is when you ever think about health services, even if you're to think about, somebody in the government and we're talking about, health,
Yeah.
automatically, what is your clinical or medical background?
Yes.
Now, I am not a doctor. I did public health, but I think it is important that in my view, that when you run a business, think of it as a business.
Exactly.
So whether it is you're in the hotel business, whether you're in the hospital business, whether you're in the farming business, they're all businesses.
Yes.
Therefore, the foundation in running a business is at least the same.
Core. Yeah.
The core is the same. Do you understand your financial accounts?
Yes.
Do you understand business processes? Do you understand HR? This you'll find across the board. So you don't have to be a doctor to run a hospital or a clinic or anything like that. So I think this is important because there are many people out there, even young people, who are very interested in health. And they think to themselves, well, I have an interest in health, but I can't enter that space because I'm not a doctor. No, that is not true. If you have a love for mental health, isn't it? You can still open up an outpatient center for that service because first of all, you're passionate about it. I think that's the number one thing. Are you passionate about what you do? I am passionate about what I do. So I think for me, when you ask me, are you a doctor? I'm always like, no, I'm not. And I'm proud to say I'm not proud, but I have no reason not to be proud not to say that. So you don't have to be a doctor. And then the other thing is that perhaps because then I'm surrounded by doctors. My mother's a doctor, my father's a doctor, my brother's a doctor, and they're all part of this institution. It's if I do need any assistance when it comes to the clinical or medical aspects, they handle that. I am then therefore here to guide the conversation around what are the human resource needs, what are the financial needs, what can I improve processes and things like that. And I think that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, especially for a family business. And actually, then that even goes to my next question, which is, how did you join the family business? Where were you before, right? What were you doing? And then what happened to lead you coming back home and running a family business? I know. I think I don't think I got here because there was a big master plan that said, when I was sitting at the age of 6, I had already planned out my entire life. No, that's not the case. It was around the time I had just finished my master's. I was living in Washington, D.C. at that time. I was working as a consultant for the World Bank, specifically around HIV and AIDS, because at that time in 2002, that was a very hot topic. Yes. HIV and AIDS and its prevention, especially around community health-based care. And I was specifically focusing in Africa, on the African perspective. Yeah. And enjoying my work because that's what I was trained to do. I did epidemiology as my master's in public health, so research and around diseases. Yes, that I loved and enjoyed. So it was when I was doing that, I remember getting a call from my older brother. This was around 2004. So I had just finished your master's. I just finished my master's. I was working, and my parents had then started the construction of this building. Yes. And they used to send photos, and I used to think, "Oh, that's interesting. That's wonderful." Well done, mom and dad. That's And my brother calls me, and at that time he was just about to go to South Africa to do one of his residency programs, and he was like, "So, what's our plan?" I was like, what do you mean our plan? What do you mean our plan? Like, what's our plan? Go home and work with the folks about around this. This is a big project. Big project. Setting up a hospital. And at that time I said, let's talk about it later. So it did come down until 2006 when I came home for the opening in March. And I remember at that time the president then was the late Mwai Kibaki. And we had a wonderful ceremony here. And my brother then asked the question again. He said, so what's the plan, And by that time, my brother had already moved home because he was like, so where are you? And then I said, I'm fine where I am. I think I'm doing okay. I'm doing what I love. And then he looked at me, he said, let me get this right. You are willing to put time and energy into building somebody else's business and not ours. Myself. The moment I just said, huh? That's true. I said, well, they're paying me good. Why not? But I went back. I
Yeah.
went back to the US, and I thought about it, and I said to myself, actually, my skill set can help help the hospital. So why not? So I did it. I came home. But having said that, I came home on
Half time, yeah.
I had never worked with my parents, my brother, and I was wondering how is this going to work out. So
Yeah.
I came back. They gave me a job. Let me put it that way. And I want everyone to know the job they gave me was not in this office.
What was it?
I came in at a junior employment, basically states saying you have never worked in a hospital before, so you have to learn
the ropes. Yeah.
So I think I had a very funny. I don't even remember my title. It's a very project and some officer, something very strange. I think we even tried to figure out is she going to say and so. The point is, I never saw the boardroom for the first almost 7 years that I worked in this institution.
Wow.
I had no place to be in the boardroom.
You're running.
The most I could do is get the CEOs here. My mom at the time. But there were so many people in between. There was a medical director. There was a chief of finance. So I want people to know that where I am today is out of climbing. Many positions and many years, and also going back to school and doing many things. But I think it was at that time when I came back, and like I told you, I was 50-50. So I was still looking for jobs in international organizations, things like that. And I remember one particular organization I applied to. I won't mention the name, but I went and met the country director.
Yeah.
And he said once I'd gone through the interview process and everything was done, he said, actually, Juliet, perfect. You would have a background in HIV and AIDS, like that. But I'd like you to come over to my house. I'm having a few other people over, to discuss the plan for this institution. And I want you to hear,
our plan. Yeah.
And so I went. It was a lovely lunch we had, and there were other people on the table. And then after it was done, he was like, so you still want to join us? And I said, yeah, of course. And then he said, come take a walk with me. And we were walking around his compound. And he asked me the same question my brother asked me. He said, are you really going to come and work for this organization? And your parents have just opened state of the art hospital, and you could plug in and make it bigger and better. And then I realized, this is God. Now, maybe God has been speaking to me, and I'm refusing to listen. And He has sent 2 people, and that's when I realized there is a bigger picture. There is a bigger plan for me, because sometimes you think you know your plan by yourself. But I guess other forces and other people can see a bigger
push
plan.
You to it,
So I then decided to just put my feet firmly into this business and now walk the journey year by year, learning, like I said, going back to do certain courses so I could get my footing even stronger over the years.
And in all of that, since you had your 50-50, what have been the situations in which you're like, I think I don't want to work here? What have been the hard things you've had to overcome in those 7 years to get to where you are? And first of all, and when did you get the room?
Oh, the room. This room.
Yes.
This was This was 2020 actually.
Wow.
2020. Oh my God. Yes. Wow. Actually, this is my 5th year. Oh my gosh. Yes. The 5th year in this position.
Yeah.
But having said that, before that, I was the CEO designate for 2 years. Which means basically, I was given the position of CEO after an interview process. After there was another gentleman who was also looking to be the CEO.
Yes.
The interviews were taken to the board, and I was
chosen.
Chosen. Yeah. So I did also. It was not handed to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that was I was the CEO definite for 2 years before actually becoming.
So what were those challenges you faced? Where you wake up in the middle of the night, hey, this thing is difficult.
First of all, it's the question that, and the reason I was very clear to say I've meeting people who are almost like, oh, this was given to you. Oh, this is you literally just jumped off a plane and it was given to you. And I say, given to me, I say it was not given to me. I think and then you spent too much time and energy trying to defend that position, and then one day when you get stronger in your feeling of I deserve it, you can start ignoring that. People will make comments and you're just like moving swiftly along. And the should I call them the haters will actually, because even people start to see when you at work and
she's doing a good job.
What's good? Yeah.
The hospital hasn't crumbled. It's growing. How?
Yeah. So and that can create self-doubt. So
yes.
Those are the challenges that when people don't think you deserve it because it's a family business, you can create self-doubt in yourself. Yeah. And if you allow that to happen, then you can end up just saying, I don't want this anymore. I can go.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't deserve the position. I think the other challenge is working with your family.
I understand that.
You know, when you're in a room and you're disagreeing, and you know very well, like let's say it's a Thursday, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm seeing this for lunch. Do I really want to go for lunch after they have annoyed you?
Yes.
I think it's very hard, and people need to understand how hard it is, especially for families, because you're trying to disassociate yourself from the business side and the family side, and sometimes it's not as easy as when my brother upsets me or I upset him. It's hard to be like, okay, well, he's my brother, and I still want to see him on the phone. It really does.
Yeah.
It takes an emotional toll on you, and it's over years that you start to learn how do we do this balancing act, even as a daughter to the daughter. So it is hard. It is very hard because emotions can fly, and sometimes that can interfere with family
and even the effectiveness at business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I think one of my greatest challenges, of course, was periods like COVID, because I became CEO.
Wow. In the heat.
The heat of COVID. Sometimes I look at my mother, I was like, really? You could have just extended your time by before just throwing me in. And I was doing an interview in I think in the ICU.
Yes.
And there was nobody. Actually, we're doing the interview in the ICU. There was nobody on the beds because everyone, I think it was like, I can't remember the March or April. It was very early when things had shut down. And I was just wondering, great, I've gotten this position and the business is going to fail because I'm here. And what is going to happen? But what I will say is my team, the people that I lead, called my executive management team, really supported me. Both the medical and non-medical side really supported me. They could see that, yes, this is a very tough time. Yeah. And I walked the journey with them over these 5 years. I'm short of saying I love them. Yes. Great team. I really think they've done a great job here at hospital. Many of them have been with the hospital for a long time. Some of them had just joined. But of course, even the mentorship from my mother and father really pulled me along in that time. So that was a hard time because I had to go through a rationalization, and I remember having to think about laying people off. I mean, I had sleepless nights. People who have been at the institution for the last 5 or so years or longer. Yeah, that was one of my hardest times. COVID was hard. Yeah. I can and then please, I'm saying it from the business side. I know people lost lives. I know people lost loved ones across the country, across the world. I'm just talking about the challenges
of business. Yes.
It's not to say that other very hard things were going on. But that was a challenge.
That was a difficult one. And then leading actually, and this is the one I'd like us to even finish on because we don't want to take too much of your time. But the plan, the vision. You entered you're obviously at a CEO role. The biggest role of a CEO is to be a visionary. Yes. Carry it to the next level. So when did the change happen in your mind from Mom and Dad's vision to my vision? And what is your vision for Karen?
Oh, my vision is growth. That's for sure. Growth in both impact and growth in terms of business size. Yeah. I mean, that is it. I think it's interesting when founders are first of all, let me say, a special breed of people. If you've ever worked for a founder, they eat, breathe, and sleep
the business. Yeah.
And for them, this is their baby and things like that. And they want to see their baby grow. They also want to see their baby stable.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting dynamic. They'll grow the business and suddenly they'll get to a point and say, but now it's working. It's fun.
It's taking care of what we needed to.
Yes. So why rock the boat? Leave it as it is. And then you get the next generation saying, no, I have energy. I have ideas. I want to take it further. Yes. So I think it's finding that balance because they bring a lot of knowledge and experience to the table, but at the same time, you don't want to extinguish the fire. And I tell myself this because I know there's another generation that is going to come after me, and I want to remind myself, don't extinguish those fires. Help them. Yes. So I think for me, I want to grow in terms of impact, health impact, looking at how do we get more services to the people of Kenya. I don't think we have done enough. I think we're still very concentrated in the major cities. We still have even towns in the rural areas or even smaller towns that still don't have the kind of services that are required. To do that, that's another thing I'm looking at. And back in 2013, I pushed the agenda to start the training college because to be able to provide those services, we need people on the
Skills,
ground. We need a
yes,
skill set.
yes.
And we need the young people, I
Yes.
have great external consultants
Yes.
who are the age of my parents.
Yeah.
But I need more consultants, I need
Yes.
more nurses,
Yes.
I need more technicians,
Yes.
and it's the young people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that we need to be pushing them and
Yes.
supporting them.
Yes.
So if we can push the training agenda more, then we can also then grow both here.
So the Karen Hospital training program,
Yeah.
it's running? How long has it been running? Yeah,
This is our 12th year of existence. So we run, our major program is the Kenya Registered Nurse Program, the KRN, which is a 3-year program. It's a diploma program, which basically takes a girl or boy straight out of high school. They enter the program for 3 years and come out a registered nurse. So we started that in 2013. So this is going to be the 5th graduation we're having, yes. And I'm happy to say that out of 5 graduations, we've graduated the top student in the country.
Well done.
We have 100% pass rate, and all our students get employed. What it would be nice to do to expand that program. So if there's anybody out there who is interested to help us build that program, it is something that I think would be it would be a great impact, a great story for Kenya. Let's grow that program. We also have other programs that are directed towards clinical officers, theatre technicians, and perfusionists. So we want to grow that as well. So that's, for me, that would be one of my legacies, if I can grow that training college to become a university. That is one thing. The other thing, of course, is to increase the footprint of the Karen Hospital locally in Kenya, so that we can go to the more even rural areas, and also to the East and Central Africa. Let's go out into where our other brothers and sisters are in Congo,
Uganda,
in Ethiopia. So that would be something I would love to do. But what really excites me, and I must say this, is the AI in healthcare. I mean that when I even think about it, it's like because the question is
what's the future?
What's the future? What is the future?
Yes.
And I'm not talking about robots, because everybody no, it's about how do we use AI, especially around data, so that I can make, as a hospital, I can make quicker decisions, or even better decisions.
Calculated.
Based on data and algorithms and things like that. I think that's exciting. The other thing is also around healthcare equipment. That people are wearing. The other day, a gentleman came here from an international organization and was showing us more or less what it is. It looks like almost like a smartwatch, but it's bigger. And it's able to actually help people detect their blood pressure consistently.
Wow.
And this is what we also need, so that because there's still a gap between how many people how many medical professionals there are, so that if there's somebody who has high blood pressure issues all the way in then you can wear this, and then you can actually take care of this high blood pressure all the way there.
His doctor can then observe it on that's
so
brilliant.
Those are the kind of things that really excite me. And I wonder, how do I introduce them here at the Karen Hospital without I don't know, rocking too many bones, but that I think is exciting. It's something that's so exciting.
And finally, I mean, your foundation. What is the foundation? And what plans does the foundation have?
The foundation. Now, that is where even when I talk about succession, that is where we have introduced now succession as well. So my son Karemi, who graduated from his master's in the UK, is now running the foundation. And I used to actually run the foundation. I actually had 2 roles. I worked at the hospital and I run the foundation. The Heart Out Foundation, of course, is even older than the Karen Hospital. It started way back in 1993. So they're actually they've actually celebrated their 32nd anniversary. So they've been in existence that long. So it's great. And their main mission is to fundraise for children who need a life-saving heart surgery. And so they have 2 big events in the year. One is a heart run, gala dinner. And so we are going to be having our heart run. Next week on Saturday, July 5th. At 7 a.m. At the Waterfront Mall. It's a change of venue. Many people know that we usually used to hold it at another venue, but I really encourage people to come out. What does this mean? Let me tell you, at the end of the day, yes, you will buy the t-shirt, you will come, you'll run, and you'll support us. But I think the biggest message we're sending to our children, because many children participate, is that life is about giving back. Life is not just about me. Life is about there's somebody out there who needs you. And yet you don't realize that somebody actually out there needs you, who is looking, who says, Wema, you and the business that you're doing and what you're doing, I need you. And you can help that person. So buying that t-shirt, you're going towards helping a child who really requires life-saving surgery. And if we can teach children from the ages of 6 to do that, you can imagine what kind of a society we'll have 20 years from now if they...
Impact-based.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even not say 20 years from now, I think I already started to see we are thinking different. We're thinking collective. If we can continue thinking collective, that's a great thing. But in the right direction. Think collective in the right direction. I think Kenya is such an exciting place.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Oh, thank you much.
Juliet's Gikonyo, for us, this is what we actually want to do. So I think it ties in perfectly. Giving back. So even just you being here is giving back. Because your voice, we need to be able to give your voice. And also, let's go to the heart run. For all of us, let's go to the heart run and let's engage. Let's give back. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. This is exciting. I really wish you and your team the best.
Sana.
Do more of these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining for another episode of Biashara Diaries, brought to you by Gikonyo Getaway.